Welcome to the Nosebleed section. Welcome to the Nosebleed Show. I am your host, Tyrell, and this is the first show of 2026. So welcome. If this is your first time here, welcome. Again, I am your host, Tyrell, and we got a fun show today. We got college football talk. We got NFL talk. We got NFL head coaching talk. Got the whiteboard behind me, but I am not in this alone because a very special friend of the channel, he is back with a plan and with all the sports knowledge that you can think of. The sports junkie himself, Mr. Andre. What's going on, buddy?
Man, can't be more happy with everything, man. Excited to be here and join the conference. Okay, now I'm done.
You know what? No, we're not starting off with that. Okay,
I had to get it out of my system.
Let's keep it a buck. We're not gonna start off with that. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna talk college football playoffs without mentioning my team, unfortunately, not being there, whatever it may be. So first off, just want to say thank you all for the support that you guys have shown in the year 2025. We are at 114 subscribers on the show. So I mean, like, that is absolutely amazing. 114. Can't get mad at that. Actually, very happy about that. Starting off back technically in January around this time last year, we rebooted the channel, but really got it going in July. So let's stop with all the introductions. Let's stop with all the funny business or whatever it may be. And we're just going to talk about the college football playoffs. We had 4 games over the last 2 days. This was a absolutely eventful weekend for sure. Or eventful week. It feels like the weekend, but it's not. So let's start off with the New Year's Eve game. Something that Ohio State love to do is lose right before the ball drops. Ohio State versus Miami. Miami won 24-14. Dre, you are an Ohio State fan, unfortunately. God rest your soul for that. God bless your soul for that. What do you think that your team did that did not help them win the game whatsoever?
Honestly, bro, that's just a really good defense. And strangely enough, they were able to hold on to a second half lead, and surprisingly, Carson Wentz played well. Carson Wentz.
Okay,
Carson
Beck.
Beck.
Okay.
Outside of that, Julian saying things that he was doing in the regular season, he didn't do against Indiana and he didn't do against Miami, which was if it's 4th and short, 3rd and short, whatever the case may be, if no one's open, he usually just ducks it and picks up those yards on his feet, which he did not do. So, and I think he's a sophomore, I believe.
Something like that, yeah.
So now going into this upcoming off season, he now knows what he needs to work on and understand when you get to a big game, you're it, it it is just another game, but at the same time, it's the playoffs too, so it's a whole different animal. Um, and one more thing I want to add too, because you cannot discredit Miami at all. That defense showed up, that offense showed up. They heard it all week about Ohio this, Ohio that, and I get that. So they went out, they played with a chip. So you got to give credit where credit is due. As for O State, we just got to get back to the drawing board. We'll be good. We're a top school. Uh, Committee actually likes us. Um, but I mean, outside of that, yeah, man, it was a tough loss. But hey, can't win them all. Stuff happens.
I will say this, and I've been saying this about Ohio State all year, and I know
My
it
bad.
comes.
My
Yeah,
bad,
go ahead.
Tyrell. I was gonna say, do you think with all these, because teams are 1-7 when clinching a bye week, do you
Yeah.
think this potentially could take the bye weeks away and make this instead of 12 and shorten it again?
No, I don't think so.
I just think they
These
should
things.
stop
I mean, these things tend to happen overall, but like my thought process is
a month and
that
a half though.
I don't think I think this right because people want these bowl games and everything like that. I think that the teams that get buys should get a home game. Like instead of playing at a neutral site, I think they should play a home game because like you earn like the only reward of earning a buy is having that week off. And we clearly seen through like the first 2 years of this 12 team playoffs is that the buy does not benefit you. You're playing at a neutral stadium. A lot of these teams that you're playing against are coming off of home victories. Outside of Miami that had to travel on the road to play Texas A&M, but you're playing against teams that are playing home games that coming in with the confidence. You might have the fresher legs, but they're more well run. Let's be honest here. It's like starting up a car. If I start my car 5 days before you start your car, my car is gonna run a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's uh my thing is that I think that they should give the bye teams a home game. I think you should say the Orange Bowl, the Rose Bowl, and all
Yeah,
that
for the
for
conference, like
like
the conference.
for conferences like what it used to be. I get that you want to use those bowl games to uplift the conference champ or the playoffs, but outside of getting fresher legs and going probably 1-7, probably losing, what is the point of me getting the bye at this point? I would rather, so far as showing that I would rather just go ahead and play the week before. I really would because I think it would benefit me better than sitting at home and then I have to turn around and travel and practice away from my facilities and go ahead and do that and play in a neutral site with a team that already has played a game and has the confidence of winning a playoff game, of having that playoff experience. So I think that's what needs to change. I think they just need to go ahead and give a home team the bye teams a home game. I
Game,
think
yeah.
what Miami did well was they were more physically dominant. They were more offensively sound than the Ohio State Buckeyes. They made the
Oh,
key
yeah.
plays when they needed to make the key plays. And I'm gonna tell you this. I know I'll get a lot of hate for this or a lot of flack for this because I'm not Ohio State guy. I can't stand Ohio State anytime they lose. It puts a smile on my face. And yes, it's kind of weird because I'm a Notre Dame fan, but I was also happy to see Miami beat Ohio State. But I will say this again, outside of Texas, prior to playing Indiana, and we know that Texas is overrated. Who did Ohio State play at the end of the day? You can say join a conference, you can say this, you can say that, but in their conference, who did they play outside of their conference? Not named Texas. Who did they play? They played Grambling State. They played Ohio University. They played Purdue. They played a bad Penn State team. They played a subpar Washington team. They didn't play Oregon. They didn't play Indiana in the middle of the season. Like they didn't play like they played Michigan every year, and we knew Michigan was bad. They played like
They were bad the year before too.
who do they play? So it's like
And also, You can't blame the Ohio State
Like,
players for that. You got to blame the schedule
okay,
makers. We
but
just
the
playing who's on
notion,
the
okay, but the notion, but the notion is that everybody, and mind you, I live here. I know what the sports talk is here. What was what made people think that Ohio State playing a weak schedule meant they were going to go automatically back to back as champions? That's what I'm trying to figure out here.
because they've
Because
been a dominant school for years.
but we're gonna go based off of look at what Indiana's been doing the last 2 years. Look what Indiana's been doing the last 2 years. The last 2 years, Indiana has legitimately been one of the best teams in college football. And this year, they're arguably the best team in college football. We're gonna see what's gonna happen against Oregon. But like everybody has stopped believing in Indiana or didn't believe in Indiana because of the brand, but it's shown that the past brand doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's what you're doing today. And Indiana played a better schedule, a stronger schedule, and they've been
They've been
battle tested the last
overlooked.
2 years.
Well, yeah, they've like the announcer said though, they've also been overlooked too. So
Yes, because
that's
it's Indiana. You don't think when you think Indiana,
the
you don't think football. You think strictly basketball when it comes to Indiana University. And give Signetti his credit. He has changed that culture there at Indiana University. For Ohio State, is like you guys beat down on all these weak ass teams. You just constantly beat the same bullshit that Notre Dame gets is the same thing Ohio State did. Now, granted, they were locked into a conference schedule, whatever, fine. But at the end of the day, they beat down on weak ass teams. And then when they got played by teams that were battle tested, remember, Miami is a battle tested team as well. They played against top 25 opponents on a consistent basis. They had to go through the loss with Louisville. They had to go through those L's to become the team that they are today. So they came in more experienced. And I'm gonna tell you what benefited Miami too. You got Ray Lewis and Michael Irvin in those meeting
Irvin there,
rooms.
yeah.
You got Ray, and they're not official staff members, but the fact that Miami has decided to bring in the alumni after like denying the alumni for so many years to bring them back in and make an impact and an influence on on this team, you can see the difference. We've really been seeing the difference with Miami over the last couple of years since that head coach has gotten there. And when you got Irvin and Ray Lewis, mind you, hardcore alumni, whoever the other alumni that we don't see, that are, I'm pretty sure they brought in guys from the O2 team that say, hey, I know you guys weren't born, but y'all represent the U. And this is the team that took away our last national championship. This is the university that took it away. Go out there and kick their fucking asses. And that's exactly what they did. They went out there. They were the more physical team. They were the more complimentary team. They were the more just dominant team. Like that score is not an indication of how that game went. To be honest with you, Mike Irvin putting belt to ass on the damn draped Ohio State cooler made sense because like that game was really a blowout. Like, yes, Jeremiah was able to make that touchdown to pull it within 3, and that was an excellent play. But let's be real, compared to what Jeremiah Smith can do, to other teams, they really did a good job containing him the best way that they can, and they didn't mind letting Sane like throw the ball, but like Sane was making bad reads. That pick 6 was a horrible read. Like he looked right at the corner. He looked right at him. Looked
Yeah,
right
that one
at him and
was.
still threw the ball. You know what I'm saying? So like this whole thing, like everybody was saying, like Julian saying was better than Will Howard last year, and he was better than CJ Stroud when he was here. Because trust me, that conversation has been had multiple times. And the arrogance of Ohio State fans, like we're going back to back, guarantee. Even Dre, you did it when we was on All Grind saying we gonna see Indiana, we gonna see Indiana when we see Indiana. It wasn't an if. It was when we see Indiana, we're gonna beat Indiana, and we're gonna get the national. That arrogance, the smug fucking arrogance to
Is mad because we
overlook
a better.
Miami. To
Is mad
overlook,
because
you
we
guys
a better.
overlooked Miami. You guys overlooked Miami as a fan base. You guys overlooked Miami, and the way Ohio State played, they overlooked Miami, and Miami took key advantage of that.
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
so next game.
Oh, and real quick before we go, who won the national championship last year?
Next game, Texas Tech versus Oregon University. Oregon 23-0.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna say this
look,
about this
too,
game.
that was a 1,000% defense. Dante Moore, I do like that kid.
I do.
he made plays when he needed to in critical situations. Obviously, both teams were kind of piss poor on third down, but they made up for it on all those damn conversions. I think Oregon went 4 for 8, 4 for 9, one of those two on fourth, or 6 for 8, one of those three. But no, Oregon, like I said, they capitalized on critical plays, and their defense responded with with pitching out a shutout. And
I'll
Dante
say
Moore
this,
has did
man.
a good job too of reading too. Like if he would get the time, he would sit there and be like, "All right, there's no one open. I'm just gonna take it myself or throw it away."
I thought Texas Tech probably played like the worst version of complimentary football you could give, right? Because
I
let's
didn't
give
expect
Texas Tech
like that.
defense credit, man. They did their
Offense.
absolute best throughout that entire game to keep that team inside the game. They did their absolute best. I thought Texas Tech up until like towards the end where they just kind of got gas and got put in bad field position, like
Mm-hmm.
they dominated Oregon's offense. Like they were able to come away with key stops. They were able to like force a couple of field goals. But when things start to crumble for your offense is not moving. The offense only had 88 total yards in the first half. Every time it seemed like Texas Tech was starting to get some momentum on the offense, there go an interception. There goes a fumble. There goes a stop. They're not executing the play. So it was like anytime Texas Tech offense needed to step up to the plate, they absolutely crumbled under the pressure. And I got to give Oregon defense credit for
Yeah.
exposing Texas Tech's offense. But at the same time, you're right. This was a pure defensive battle. Like the score doesn't show that, but it
I don't
really,
know.
really was.
Not
It
to
really
mention.
was. And I think Tech will be back. For I think Texas Tech is going to be back. I think they'll be back in the playoffs. I think they're going to dominate the Big 12 again next year. And I think they're going to get better and get stronger. Like it kind of the way Tech played and the way everything kind of shaped out to be, it kind of is like watching Indiana last year, like when they played Notre Dame, like a very good team that is going to be back, but they're not quite ready for that moment. And that's what Texas Tech
Mhm.
was. And we talked about that on All Grind. I was like, the clock strikes midnight for Texas Tech. Like, I just think they're not ready for that position. But I think when we're talking about the next couple of years, especially if they build off of this success, I think Texas Tech could be one of those teams that we're going to be talking about for years to come.
Yeah, they I think too with Texas Tech that was another team with a bye week that got popped. No, I just think they just they came out flat offensively. Like you said, the defense showed up, but the offense, man, they had a hard time just doing anything.
Yeah, they
But
did. They did.
but
And I'm gonna tell you something, man. You got to play complementary football. You
to
got to
win,
play complementary football to win games. And it don't have to be like perfectly complementary, but it's like when your defense is doing what they were doing the entire game, and you still like cannot produce or help out your defense a little bit. Like you can't even step up one time and score a touchdown or a field goal to cut it within 10 or anything like that. Like they didn't do anything on the offense to showcase how good that defense was against the University of Oregon. And I'm gonna tell you
yeah,
this: if Oregon plays like that against Indiana next week, you can kiss that. You can continue the narrative of so many colors but no natty titles because they cannot play like this against Indiana whatsoever. And they know that they lost to Indiana earlier this year, but they know that if
but
they play
that's
like this against Indiana, you know what I'm saying? And
they have a
and to be
shot.
honest with you, Indiana and Oregon, this is kind of like a preview of, especially with Dante Moore's like draft stock rising. I think this is a preview of who you should take number one overall, whether it's going to be Mendoza or Dante Moore. What do you think about that?
Honestly, I think, and this is just my opinion. You can flame me up in the comments all you want, but I just think Mendoza, I would rather see Dante Moore go elsewhere because that first pick's going to, and it's no disrespect, but that first pick's going to the Raiders, and until they beef up that O line, one of my dad's friends texted me and said, I said, Joe, I said, hey, there's your first pick quarterback in this year's draft, and he goes, that's nice. That would be nice. He goes, however, if we don't beef up the O line, he's gonna get smashed out there. Pause. And I kind of agree with him, man. I was like, yeah, they got to beef up that O line. So I think I could see like Dante Moore going to like 2, Simpson 3 or 4 in round 1.
Yeah. I think this is gonna be a preview. I think especially if like one has a better game over the other, a lot of people are gonna go, yeah, that's the number one overall pick. So I think this
But it
this
just
Indiana
depends on who he
Oregon
goes
game
to.
has bigger implications on the future of the NFL than a lot of people are talking about, in my personal opinion, that I haven't really been seeing online. As far as the game with Alabama, that's my analysis. That was a pure belt to ass. And I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
you this. I didn't give Indiana a chance. Not gonna lie. Said on all grind. I said I thought the clock was gonna strike midnight on Indiana as well, especially with me knowing what the record was for the bye teams at the time. But my
Oh yeah.
God, I will say this. I think Indiana, and we saw a lot of physical play in this weekend over the past 2 days. I think Indiana is the most physical team in the entire playoffs remaining. I think Indiana is the best coach team in with the remaining teams in the college football playoffs. And I think if they get past Oregon, and my opinion, they don't run into Ole Miss, because I think Ole Miss is like highly motivated to prove Lane Kiffin wrong. I think Indiana might win the national championship. I think they're better coach. I think they're more physical. I think they execute their plays better. They're complementary. They do every fundamental that is taught from Pop Warner to now correctly. And Signetti has a calm demeanor. He doesn't get too excited. He doesn't get too pissed off. He is even killed, but he isn't that even kill that just like don't give a fuck, that doesn't show passion. Like he's that even kill that can show when he can get his team up and going. He has turned that program around in the 2.5, 3 years that he has been there. And I think that if Indiana can not boat race, but if Indiana can do what they can do against Oregon, make it to the national championship, I I just don't see too many teams that are more physical than, and I'm talking about, mind you, we still got to talk about Ole Miss and Georgia, right? I just think Indiana is physical, more physical than
Very
any
physical,
team in
especially on that
this
defense.
playoffs. To do that to Alabama, I know this ain't Nick Saban's Alabama, but to do that to Alabama, the way they act, and they're disciplined too. I'm gonna be real. We saw Oregon make a lot of mistakes that if Texas Tech would have capitalized off of it, Texas Tech could have won. We saw Ole Miss make a lot of mistakes that they was able to win. Even Miami in that third quarter made a lot of key
Yep.
mistakes. Indiana was the only team, whether to advance or not to advance, the only team that played a perfect game this week. They were the only team to play a perfect game on all three sides of the ball. All three sides. You could not find little to no mistakes by Indiana. They were perfectly disciplined. Alabama tried to get them to jump off sides a few times. It didn't work. They out they boat raced them. They boat raced them. They put belt to ass on them. They put leather to ass on the
Yeah,
Alabama
that was
Crimson Tide.
humiliating.
It was embarrassing, and I don't care if I think they would have did that to any team. That includes my team. Like if my team would have made it instead of Alabama, they would have did that shit to Notre Dame. They're that freaking good. I am sold on Indiana. I really and I was sold on them before I said okay they might lose, but that was like a precautionary slash. It doesn't show historically that these bye teams are winning, but they're the only bye team through this 12 playoff run throughout the last 2 years to actually win a freaking game. They're the only team, like I said, that played picture perfect football, played complimentary football, extremely well coached. And Dan Lanning is going to have a hard time. I think it's a possibility that Indiana could go out there and just put belt to ass on fucking Oregon. They already beat them. They already got the
Yeah, I can
confidence.
see.
And they are a better and stronger team than when they played Oregon earlier this year. Indiana's freaking dangerous. They are Absolutely dangerous. And if I'm sitting back, I'm Oregon, I'm Ole Miss, I'm Miami, I don't want to play these guys. I do not want to play these guys because these guys could snub me out of a championship. Absolutely snub me out of a championship.
Yeah, that Indiana defense, man. That is just. I mean, I thought that was going to be an Indiana win regardless, 30, but like 34-31, but it was not. They they took Ty Simpson out the game too. I mean, those hits on
I mean,
defense.
yeah,
I mean, they were leveling hits, bro.
they.
I, they wanted
I'm
to
gonna tell you,
win.
no pun intended, but Alabama couldn't stop a nosebleed, bro. Alabama
No,
couldn't
they
do
had long
shit.
drives too. They
They
would
couldn't
have
do shit.
long. That offense would
They,
have
they was okay
long
with that.
drives.
They was okay with that. That's the scary part. When you got a team that is okay with you having long drives on them, when they know that you're not gonna fucking score, yeah, go ahead, get your yards up, get them reps up. You're not gonna score against us. That's dangerous, man. That's dangerous. That's a team that knows that they can stop you scoring at any moment of the game. It doesn't matter if it's the first quarter or it's the game on the line. They know that they can stop you. They are perfectly battle tested. This team is amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do in this next round. I feel bad for Oregon.
Like I said,
That,
Oregon's defense is very, very good. I know that Finney kid, that cornerback, that freshman cornerback, he is absolutely amazing. They're gonna try to stay away from him, but like Indiana, bro, unless Oregon just go out there and just like stuns the world, I think Indiana got that in the bag
yeah,
too.
yeah. Unless they have like a game plan that we haven't seen or that they haven't seen, then and who knows? They might be watching this, so maybe they might game plan.
Did you see that video where that dude was standing? I'm going back to Miami and on Ohio State real quick. Did you see that video of that dude standing outside talking about some y'all couldn't handle one Cuban, so how y'all gonna beat 20 Cubans? Talking to
Oh
Ohio State.
yeah,
Ah, that was hilarious. All right, so Ole Miss and Georgia. We'll talk about physicality. I thought this was the most equally physically
you saw that hit
quality
Stockton
game,
Gunner took.
bro. This game was like if Indiana played the best perfect picture game, this was the best perfect picture game for both teams. Like just this matchup was absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. Drake, what's your thoughts on the game?
That was I'm not gonna lie. When Georgia went up 21-12, I thought, yeah, I was like, they might have this one in the bag now. No, man, Ole Miss. I mean, just came out of nowhere and started that they. One thing about Ole Miss that they've had the last couple of years is resiliency. They might be down, but they're never out of a fight. It might look bad, but they know how to like dig their way out of hole like big holes. So Ole Miss really. Oh, and their quarterback. How do you pronounce his last name?
I can't remember.
But I know his first is Trinidad, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I can remember. I
Trinidad,
mean, and
man.
remember it was him and the other guy that they were debating about.
Yeah,
Rather they should start, and they went ahead and rolled with Trinidad,
yeah.
which
Well, he put
great
that
call.
fucking team and game on his back on offense. He made him along with that offense made the key plays. Uh, made key like in just critical situations. They never like shied away. Um, if I recall, they had a couple big third downs in there as well, especially late. But for them to continue the fight against a tough Georgia team and against Kirby Smart, who by the way is 117-20 in his 10 years.
Yeah, but I mean, what they last year Sugar Bowl, New Orleans, they played Notre Dame, got absolutely dominated by Notre Dame. This year, Sugar Bowl and Ole Miss was able to make a comeback and dominate them in the second half.
Yeah,
Absolutely, and what Georgia's 0-2 now. They've had
yeah.
back to back bye weeks, and they've had back to back losses off those byes. So, what do you think is next for Georgia? Like, because they can't keep. Yeah, you can say 117-21 in the last 10 years, but they can't keep looking at this and going, man, you keep losing these bye weeks, man. You keep losing these games. We setting ourselves up. We keep losing. So, what do you think Georgia needs to do to like get over the hump?
Honestly, bro, hit those portals. start bringing over more talent. Like I know they already have talent as is, but start stacking up, get more, try to get more in there, and also it starts with that recruiting too. That the reason Georgia's been able to been so dominant for as many years they've had been is because of great recruitment. Get back to it. I think they need to hit that portal and just keep recruiting at a high level, and I think they'll be fine because Kirby Smart's not going nowhere for a long time.
To be honest, I think Georgia needs to hit on the quarterback. I think Georgia's like when
They
it
actually
gets to the
need one.
playoffs.
I don't trust
I mean,
Gus.
they have a quarterback that gets them through the SEC, that gets them through where they need to go as far as the regular season goes. But like when it comes down to the playoffs, like they're like it happened with Carson Beck last year. Like Carson transferred, and I think Miami did a great job with Carson, and he made a lot of like decisions and a lot of throws that he didn't do in Georgia. So I think they need to hit on quarterback, and that might also mean, hey, you might need to make a change at the quarterback coach position. To be honest with you, because if
Mm-hmm.
Carson Beck is looking better in a different system with a different coaching staff, then and your quarterback is kind of played the same way that Carson did last year in your uniform, you might need to make a change at the quarterback coach position. But I shout out to Ole Miss, by the way. For you guys, and I'm talking to Ole Miss fans. Shout out to Jay Will and JoJo is a fan, right? Of Ole Miss.
He likes Bama.
Okay, never mind. Okay, so shout out to Jay Will. All right. This he has been on this channel, but all grinds Ole Miss Indianapolis Colts fan, right? For your coach to come in, change the whole
And
program,
we thought they were going to fold.
and no, for real. Oh, well, we knew they wasn't gonna fold against Tulane. Come on now.
No, not against
Um,
Tulane, against
no,
Georgia.
but I was wrong because I thought it was. I knew it was gonna be a close game,
Lower.
right? Because I said it was gonna be a close game on all grind, but I said that Kirby might outcoach them towards the end, and that didn't happen. For I'm gonna say for you guys to like deal with a coach that changed the program around, is the hero of that program, of that state, having your best season since the 1960s, having your best seasons, even last year when you guys just missed out, when y'all were losing games towards the end. For him to like leave for your rivals, for your arch rivals in LSU, take the money, and then proceed on the airport strip to explain why he went to LSU. And the exact wording was, they give me a better chance to win national championships, which is funny because Brian Kelly said the same fucking thing when he left Notre Dame. He said the same thing that Lane Kiffin said was, LSU gives me the best chance to recruit and winning national championship. And that's exactly what Lane Kiffin said. Gives me the best chance to recruit and winning national championship. Now, since Brian Kelly left Notre Dame, right? Notre Dame has gone to the national championship. They didn't win it, but they've gone to the national championship. And
Ohio.
all this is a game away from going to the national championship.
Yep.
They're a game away. So that whole notion of I'm going to LSU to win a national championship and to recruit better is starting to smell like bullshit. It's starting to look like bullshit because the two teams that got fucked over by LSU by getting their coaches poached from them, by pissing off a fan base because of that and screwing over a fan base, guess what? That university so far for Ole Miss has turned out to be better without Lane Kiffin already. Who knows if not LSU, if Ole Miss goes on this run with Lane Kiffin there, without that motivation of your coach that told you to hold accountability, that told you guys that we fight together in this room, we represent each other in this room, we're in this together, leave you like a thief at night, and proceeds to shit on the university and subconsciously
Family decision.
and like no, he just shitted on the university. Let's be real here. He shitted on Ole Miss, bro. Like he left Ole Miss and then said, you guys can't fucking do it. Basically telling those players, you guys cannot get me a national championship. You guys, I can get better. And not only that, but I can get better players than you. I have better facilities than you. and you guys can't do what I can do. It's like the ex that thinks that the girl that thinks that the grass is greener on the other side when she got this when she got this good dude. Like the good dude isn't perfect. He isn't the best good looking guy, but he handles his business, right? Like he takes care of
Mm-hmm.
you. You know he's not gonna cheat on the whole 9 yards, right? And you're just like, well, more money over there. There's a better guy over there. And Brian Kelly did that shit. And Brian Kelly
Money.
had to find out the hard way that it wasn't the case. Look what say what you want to say, right? But let's be real here. Notre Dame is in a better position than when Brian Kelly left. And I'm not one of those Notre Dame fans that like completely shits on Brian Kelly because he did help restore the program, even though we could never win the big games. Notre Dame is better off without Brian Kelly. And what is looking like so far through 2 games, through a month and a half, give or take, it's looking like Ole Miss is better off without Lane Kiffin. So we're going to dub this here on this channel, especially to see what's going to happen with LSU. We're going to call it the LSU curse for LSU. Or we're going to call it the LSU blessing for the teams that get fucked over by LSU. Because time and time again, it has happened twice that 2 coaches leave a program that they're somewhat beloved or beloved by and throw 2 double birds at them and say, you can't do it. I can get better players. I can get better everything without you. You are the problem. And I'm going over here to tell the world that they can get me to the dance. They can win me the dance. And I got a better dance partner than you. And it comes out that they end up flopping on their face. So that's the college football round 2. We got Indiana and Oregon. We got Miami and Ole Miss. Quick predictions, Trey. Indiana, Oregon. Who takes that dub?
Indiana. 35-17.
Ole Miss and Miami.
My oof.
And I
I'm
think
going
that's going to be a really physical game.
damn. I'm gonna go Ole Miss just because they're high. Nah, no, never mind. I redact it. I'm gonna go Miami just because of that damn defense.
Miami.
Sorry, J. Will.
All right. Final score for Miami. Miami, Ole Miss.
17-14. Sorry, 21-17.
21-17. Give me Indiana over Oregon. I'm going to go Oregon 21, Indiana 24. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be a belt to ass. Oregon's defense is really good and is going to help them out a lot. And they're going to learn a lot of mistakes that they learned from that first game.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Indiana could pull off the edge. Miami and Ole Miss is tough because you got Miami that's focused and driven, but I just think Ole Miss is a better team and they're more focused and driven than Miami is right now. They're coming out here to prove everybody wrong and they're doing a great job doing it. So give me Ole Miss over Miami by a final score. I'm going to do 21-17 as well, but I'm going to flip it. I'm going to have Ole Miss score 21. I'm going to have Miami score 17. And I think Ole Miss has a better quarterback. I think Trendad is a better quarterback than Carson is. All right, so that's college football, right? So now we got the NFL, and let's talk about the NFL. And everybody that's watching, popping in, whatever it may be, thank you so much for doing that. And I want to know what you guys think. What are your predictions? What are everybody's predictions for the upcoming college football? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll put your comment on the screen as well. But let's talk about the NFL. We're not going to talk about every single game. Nobody needs that. Nobody needs that because nobody gives a French toast flying crap about every single game. We care about 3 games. We got Tampa and Carolina. We got Seattle and San Francisco, and we got the Baltimore Ravens versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's start with Tampa and Carolina. Tampa needs a win plus a Falcons loss to get into the playoffs. The Panthers just need to outright win the division, outright win this game to win the division. This game starts at 4:30 tomorrow. Who wins this game? I believe that Carolina is 3-point underdogs.
Oh, I'm taking Carolina for sure. Just because if you've watched Bryce Young and the Panthers these last couple, like towards the end of the season, man, they're starting to gel really well together, man. And Bryce, he's getting better at reading the field. He's getting better at making those quick decisions. He's not over second guessing himself. Um, and they're on a roll right now. I mean, Tampa started the season hot, but now they're kind of on like a late season like fall off right now. And Carolina's on the rise, so is it Carolina's just got to go out there and win when it matters, and this is when it matters.
Carolina has done a good job at like
Shout out to the
bouncing back
defense
off
too.
of Carolina's done a good job bouncing back from losses. And I thought they played Seattle pretty good. I mean, Seattle was just a better superior team. Um but overall, I think Carolina got this one in the bag. I mean, Tampa's on a 4-game losing streak right now. They've
Hmm.
completely collapsed. I don't know what's going
After
on with
starting
Tampa.
what 4-1.
Like 4-1, 5-1, or something like that. Like this was their division to lose, and I think they're going to lose this division. But it's crazy because Tampa could win, and New Orleans and Atlanta, and the way Atlanta's been playing since they got eliminated from the playoffs, they're playing like the 2015 Atlanta Falcons. So it's not even a guarantee that they're going to get in anyway. But I think Carolina goes ahead. I think they're a little bit more motivated. I think they can go into Raymond James Stadium and absolutely win this game by a final score of 27-24.
Yeah, Tampa, man. Whew. I mean, they got hope, but I mean, it's that late we talk about on the all grind, man. Those late season collapses, bro, and
They matter, bro.
they
They
matter. And even if, and that's a big if, even if they do win that late season, I mean, yeah, it might jolt them just a little bit, but still, that late season like fall off, it'll
yeah.
come back and bite you later in the postseason.
I think this class by Tampa, if Tampa don't get into the playoffs, and Indianapolis are going to be documented for a very long time. Very, very long time. Let's move on to for the NFC, not just for the NFC West, but for the entire NFC. Seattle versus San Francisco. Seattle is a pick'em game. Seattle's 1.5 point favorites. This is for all the marbles. Both teams are on a 6-game winning streak. San Francisco do host this game Saturday night, 8 p.m. Takes the dub.
Taking Seattle. And can you believe San Francisco's here after how depleted they are?
Absolutely. Kyle Shanahan has done a phenomenal job
Yeah.
coaching. I don't know
Shout
why
out
he's
to
not
Shanahan.
up for a debate of coach of the year after everything that they've been through. And I know like they base like these coaches of turning like losing like organizations around into like instant winners, but like all the injuries that they've had to battle throughout the year, whether it was long term or short term, and the fact that they could take over this entire conference is absolutely amazing. And I wish this was the Sunday night football game, to be honest with you. I
And
wish it
honestly,
was.
though, too, I think the Seattle, Sam Darnold is low key. We still got to see what he does, in the playoffs, because we know that's where the crumble kind of starts. But I think I'm telling you right now, I believe a win right here, because he was in this position last year.
Yeah.
So I believe because he's been in this position, he knows it now. He's been in this spot. He understands how big of a moment this is, but he also understands not to crash the ship. Just do what he can to help his team win. That's it. Because this isn't just for this is for the conference, for that bye, that first seed. And I just think because of that experience that he went through, having dealt what he went through last year, I think is going to play a big factor this Saturday.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Seattle the slight edge on this one. I just think they're just I don't know what to think with Seattle and San Francisco. Like I just don't like every single time we count out San Francisco, they just find a way to win games. But I'm gonna give Seattle the slight edge. Like you said, Sam Darnold's been here before. And I think he'll like show up to the plate when it matters. I think he's gonna learn from that. I think he has a coach that believes in him and a staff that and I think when he played in Minnesota, like when they played Detroit was just a better team than them overall anyway. But yeah, give me Seattle with slight edge. I'm gonna go 31-27 Seattle.
27. I'm gonna go Seattle 24-20.
All right, and now we got the battle of the mid, legit the mid. Steelers opportunity to live on to tradition by going 9-8. They had a chance to just go ahead and lock this division, put Baltimore away, and this could have been a throwaway game. But no, they needed this. They needed to make sure Myles Garrett didn't get the sack record. And I love what Joe Burrow said. He said, I'm not playing this game to prevent somebody from getting a sack record. If he gets it, he gets it. I'm playing to win this game. Clearly, Pittsburgh did not get the memo of that whatsoever. Mike Tomlin, Aaron Rodgers. So the battle of the mid, the division nobody wants to win, along with the NFC South. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, in Pittsburgh, Sunday Night Football. Both teams complete ass. Baltimore did a phenomenal job against the Green Bay Packers. Lamar Jackson is going to be playing in this game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers 27th ranked offense, 28th ranked defense, going against the 23rd ranked defense in Baltimore, 18th, 16th ranked offense for the Baltimore Ravens. Who takes the AFC North?
Pittsburgh. I think
Pittsburgh.
because I honestly believe because of the scrutiny and the backlash that they're receiving this week, I think they're going, and I'm sure Mike Tomlin is sick and tired of hearing going, and I get it. Until he proves us wrong, people are gonna always say 9-8. Here comes another 9-8 season. But I think he's getting sick and tired of hearing that, and I think something's gonna get done about it. I think he will go out there, and I think they're gonna go out there and I think they're gonna perform well. You don't have the injury reports, do you? Everyone's good. Healthy?
No, we know DK is out, and that's the
Well, we
thing.
know D. Yeah.
I'm gonna give Baltimore the win. I think what
Oh, and
showed
Pittsburgh, I
against
think it's gonna
Cleveland.
be 28. It'll be 28-24.
Yeah, I think Baltimore is going to win this. I think what Cleveland exposed with Pittsburgh is that Pittsburgh does not have a passing game without DK Metcalf. Like they don't have that deep threat there. They don't have a good wide receiver room outside of DK Metcalf, and I think Baltimore is good enough to expose that. On top of just feed Derrick Henry the ball. You know, Lamar Jackson's having his worst season since his rookie year. Feed him the ball, and now
36 carries last
they're
week.
the best run offense in the league. They're the best run offense in the league. They're going to get and dude, there's not a lot of teams that can contain or stop Derrick Henry on a consistent basis. The only team that can really do that is Cleveland. Like it don't matter how good or bad Cleveland is. Cleveland has always done a great job, whether he was in Tennessee or Baltimore, of containing Derrick Henry. Pittsburgh ain't got it like that. So if they just feed the ball to Derrick Henry, let Lamar do his thing, and just let the tight ends, let Washington, let Fairmouth get their yards and get their catches. It doesn't matter because Scanlon and whoever the hell is on that team, you just got to prevent Pittsburgh from running the ball. Just plain and simple.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they have the run defense. I mean, especially the 11th best run defense in the league. Pittsburgh has the 12th best run defense in the league. But like Pittsburgh is 26 in the league in run offense. I know they've been doing pretty good since Thanksgiving, but like, dude, that Detroit game might have been cursed. They got away with the offensive. They got away with getting an offensive pass interference call in their favor. DK Metcalf shoving fans, pulling fans off of a 10-foot wall. You got, Mike Tomlin celebrating that he ain't got another losing season with the little two thumb. He doing the Hulk Hogan NWO two thumbs to Cam Ward and Aaron Rodgers. It's just give me Baltimore. And I hate to say because I hate both of these teams, but give me Baltimore. Final score: Baltimore 31. Actually, no, Baltimore 30, Pittsburgh 20. Give me Baltimore for the win. All right. Enough of that. Enough of two mid games in a game that really matters. I got the whiteboard right here.
Mm-hmm.
I got the whiteboard right here. So, Dre, tell them where they can find your blog and a little bit about yourself while I change microphones and change headphones.
You can find my blog, ladies and gentlemen, on Google or Safari, depending on whatever phone you have or laptop. but it is andrelakes.blogspot.com. andrelakes.blogspot.com. I got everything from I cover every sport analytically and statistically, from professional sports to the collegiate level. So I promise you, I will not disappoint any of y'all on that blog. And then also, please comment, like, subscribe to the Nosebleeds channel as well. Gonna kick the new year off right. While we waiting for Tyrell, this college football playoffs is getting real interesting. Real interesting. Well, as Tyrell takes 24 more hours. Also, I was going to mention that one thing that I will say about this football season is that all the teams I was going to, oh, okay, you're back. I was going to say, Tyrell,
Somewhat,
for this football
somewhat.
season,
I don't know where my camera is, where to turn my camera on. I don't know why.
all
Bad.
the original suspects that were, accustomed to seeing winning year in and year out, now that they, the Ravens, like they could make the playoffs, but they're not, they're dominant, 13, 14 win team, Chiefs not there. I think with all that, it's been a real crazy mix this year. This whole season has been up in the air. Like, it's anyone's ball game.
Okay, for some reason I can't pull up like my actual picture, which is weird. Live, baby, we're live. We're live, pal. So there ain't no editing this out. For some reason it will not cut on. Dre, just keep going about the college football playoffs while I figure this out. Feel some time, buddy.
Yeah, no, the college football playoffs, though, it's going to be college football playoffs this year. It's going to be interesting. You got Trinidad, who willed that Ole Miss team all the way back, and then shout out to the Ole Miss defense. That second half, I was not prepared for. I wasn't prepared for that, like, at all. But it'll be interesting to see how they game plan for their next matchup. As for Georgia, well, we are going to find out what moves they make during the off season. Honestly, like I said, hit those portals, go get a quarterback. It's no disrespect to Gunnar Stockton. I just don't think he's fit for. I don't think he's Georgia. Should be Georgia's quarterback. I think Georgia needs to go a different route. But hey, we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see how this year closes out. Ohio State will be back. And for Tyrell doing all this hating,
All right,
by the
there
way,
we go. Jeez, it took me a minute, but had to get
we
around my
beat them
elbow
last year.
to get to the wrist. Had to get around my elbow to get to the wrist. So reason why I'm switching microphones, pals, because I got the whiteboard right here. So I'm gonna move my black ass out the way somewhat. All right, so I don't know how well you guys can see that or not. Push my chair over that way just a little bit. All right, so we got 30 teams on the whiteboard right here. Let me see if I can up this lighting up a little bit here. If I can get this pointed towards here. All right, there we go. That's all right. So we got 30 teams on the board right here. 30 jobs. We're ranking it from best to so down here at 30 right here is 30 and up. So as more we go up to one, more likely to get fired. 30, least likely to get fired. So let's start off with number 30. Your head coach, Dre, Mike Vrabel at number 30, safest job. And really, these first like 5 teams are like the safest jobs on the board right here. So let's go in order. Mike Vrabel, but these 3 right here, I think, are up for Coach of the Year. Mike Vrabel, number 30, has turned the entire team around. I forgot my son done erased some of my stuff off of my board.
What, 4-13 last year, and then now we're 13-3 right now. 4-13 last year, and on the cusp of going 14 and on the cusp of going 14 and 4-3.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So do you think he wins Coach of the Year?
Of course.
Non-biased opinion. Non-biased
opinion. I absolutely do. He had a huge turnaround.
But you can say that about Liam Cohen and Ben Johnson as well.
Yeah, those are another 2. But I do believe Vrabel should. I really believe Vrabel should get Coach of the Year.
To be honest,
there's no disrespect to Liam.
I think Ben Johnson gets Coach of the Year. To be honest with you, Chicago's been in more turmoil than the Patriots and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, Jacksonville was just in the playoffs about 4 years ago. Patriots had 3 years of bad football. Come on now, that's not enough. So yeah, give me Ben Johnson.
It's been 6 years since we won the division.
Okay, anyway, you guys have only 3 years of bad football. You guys have 20 years of dominance. I don't want to fucking hear it. So yeah, give me Ben Johnson for Coach of the Year. At 27, we got Sean Payton. Obviously, that job is safe. Andy Reid is safe because, hey, look, that out of the 13 years he's been there, they've only had this is like their first bad season with him. First time they missed the playoffs since 2014. So yeah, Andy Reid is absolutely safe. Obviously,
yeah, he'll be fine.
Aaron Glenn is safe. I know that's kind of weird for some people to say, but I think he, out of all the losing teams, he's the most safest because the Jets have clearly shown that they're going to be on a rebuild. They've traded for a lot of assets. They got rid of like young veterans. So I think they're going to give Aaron Glenn as much time as he needs. So I think
not going to take the bucket on him just yet.
No, they shouldn't. He's changing that culture around for sure. In my opinion, and I just think that they're going to give him time because they're going to be in a complete rebuild mode. Even next year, I don't think his job is going to be on the line next year as well. They don't have an Aaron Rodgers in there to influence the owners or Brick Johnson from firing Robert Saleh, because I thought Robert Saleh, and I think a lot of people thought Robert Saleh was unjustly fired last year, and we knew Aaron Rodgers had a part in that. But Aaron Glenn, I think he's safe. Jim Harbaugh is clearly safe. Sirianni is up there because, let's be real here, like Philadelphia had higher expectations compared to last year, and they're playing in a weak division. I think Philadelphia is overall, like, I was so sold on them earlier this year, but I think Philadelphia is not going to go back to the NFC Championship game. But winning a Super Bowl last year, going to 2 out of 3 Super Bowls, that buys you a whole lot of time, despite the fact that the team underperformed and underachieved this year, despite winning the division. This is one of those Super Bowl hangovers that is very, very deceptive. Like, I put the Eagles Super Bowl hangover as a functioning alcoholic. That's like the best way to explain that one. So yes, people, you don't have to see my mug. I'm off camera for this. D'Amico Ryan's at 22. Another guy that's up for Coach of the Year. What a job he's done in turning the Texas season around. We were kind of like shitting on him all year long and just like, saying how bad the offensive line is, and CJ Stroud is, and I didn't.
Yeah, but that defense
is overrated. And stuff. But they got like the second best defense in the league. They didn't quite get to the division title. They were trying to catch up to it, but they haven't lost a game since the week prior to that Jacksonville game. Like, they've been the red hot team, and they're a team that I would not want to see in the playoffs whatsoever.
Yeah, that anyone that has to see them in the first round or the playoffs in general, I'm terrified because that Houston team is not to sleep on. Maybe at the beginning of the season, they kind of look like they may not make it, but no, they're a freaking juggernaut now. Especially that damn defense.
Right. So we know Kyle Shanahan, Mike McDonald, and Sean McVay are safe. It's just we get to the middle of the pack. It's just like looking at the situation. We know they're not going nowhere whatsoever. We can really put them over there, but it's just for ranking purposes. We know that they're safe. Any thoughts on those three coaches?
No.
No thoughts. Like I said, I think Kyle Shanahan should be up for Coach of the Year as well. Brian Schottenheimer is his first year there. They've done a pretty solid job considering the fact that what he had to,
that offense going.
Got that. I mean, shoot, literally, Dallas has the best offense in the league. They have the best offense in the league, and they probably will have a better defense if they didn't trade Michael Parsons and would just pay the man. Dan Quinn is safe. They're gonna say, hey, look, he had a lot of injuries. He's gonna be safe from any scrutiny or firing this year. Dan Campbell is safe, but that time is ticking. They just missed the playoffs. They had higher expectations. I think Dan Campbell's seat is getting a little bit hot over there. I think he's warming up a little bit.
Yeah, it could be getting there. But also too, you know what? No, I think he'll be fine because I feel this year they dealt with injuries, man. I feel like he'll be all right.
I think he'll be all right too, but it's just, the expectations in Detroit, they underachieve. And then you got to also date last year as well with them losing to Washington in embarrassing fashion. We know when the NFC was supposed to go through Detroit for the first time in franchise history. So I think that seat is getting a little bit warmer than a lot of people want to say. I know what JC says about rebuilding a program or rebuilding an organization when there's been an absolute failure buys you a lot of time, Sean McDermott. But Detroit, the Ford family, they're a little bit more quick acting than the Pagula family. Kellen Moore at 15, that's just more of there's other spots that are more safer than him, but I don't think he goes absolutely nowhere. He has New Orleans playing better than expected. They look like a better team than they did last year. I know I made a lot of jokes on this channel early on that they might go 0-17, but they have clearly played some good sound
much better
football.
Than that.
Yeah, compared to where they used to be. I think they or what they could have been. I think they played better football all the way around. So I think Kellen Moore is cool. And then Tyler Shaw, he has Tyler Shaw looking good as well. A lot of people shit on Tyler Shaw, but I think a lot of people are realizing that Tyler Shaw has some talent there. And it helps that, he has, at the time when he left college football, the most winningest quarterback in college football history when he left. He held that record. Didn't have a successful NFL career, but he knew he wasn't going to really make it in the NFL and made the transition to coach, which was smart. But yeah, Kellen Moore, he's definitely safe. Tyler Shaw looks good, and they might be thinking about, you got Mendoza and Dante Moore in this draft class, and that's about it at quarterback. And I think they're going to use Tyler Shaw as a bridge gap quarterback to bring in the quarterback that they really, really want. Any thoughts on Quinn Campbell or Kellen Moore?
No, I feel like they're fine where they're at. Like I said, they may have had some of their mishaps this year, but also majority of them were dealt with injuries too. So that all has to play. You have to put those injuries in fact.
Yeah, I just realized that I can sit right here. So now we got O'Connell, Tomlin, and Steichen and LaFleur. Now, why do you think LaFleur is so high up there?
I mean, I think he's fine.
I think he's fine too, but when I was doing my research, there were a lot of rumors being spread around that depending on how far the Packers go inside the playoffs, that there's a possibility that he could be fired. And they could be moving on in a different direction. I think it's the wrong call. I think it's absolutely stupid if they were to do something like that, but that is the rumor there. And, anytime you get coaching rumors, you have to, even if it don't come out to fruition and doesn't end up happening, you got to somewhat believe the coaching rumors or start to pay attention to that. And it was enough for me, especially the amount of noise that was being made about it internally. It was enough for me to put him just out of the top 10.
Just out of it. Okay.
just out of it. And like he's number 11. Steichen at 12. I think he's fine. I think he's safe. They're going to use the injury thing. But they if they start off out the gates bad next year, and we know about Mrs. Ursay, her beautiful ass, her beautiful fine self, we know that she's like always on that field and watching and monitoring things. Steichen is like one of those things where you don't look at it for today, but in the future, if things go south, look for that to potentially happen. Tomlin, Pittsburgh loves their stability, but if they lose this division, they go 9-8 again. Small possibility. In the same way with O'Connell, these are all small possibilities, but these are moves that wouldn't surprise me. Like 14 through 11, wouldn't surprise me if any of these guys would have get fired on Black Monday.
Well, only time will tell. We'll see what happens when everything concludes.
So yeah, so at number 10, I got Todd Bowles, playoff pending. Let's see, make sure the connection is right. My connection is a little off. But yeah, playoff pending, Todd Bowles, playoff pending. Sean McDermott. I think out of all the winningest coaches
he needs to get looked at. I'm so sick. And hold on. Hold on. I am so sick of that slander too that they hold Lamar. Swagoo, if you're watching this, I appreciate what you said on ESPN. Real quick, the thing that pissed me off is that he is so right. Lamar Jackson gets held to a standard, gets held to a specific standard. When Likely's, half in, half out, that ain't his fault. He ain't Likely. He can't control Likely. He can't control where he's just the quarterback. But yet, who do they need to blame? They need somebody to blame, so they always put it on Lamar. The way people hold Lamar accountable, they need to start holding Josh Allen accountable the same effing way. Now, real quick, did you see his game against Philadelphia? Did you see that pass at the end of the game?
Yes, I did. And it was
okay. Was that a little overthrown?
That game was an abomination.
Well, not overthrown, but was it a little? Was that? So no, that because you saw Josh Allen leaving the field saying "fuck," bro. You had no reason to miss that throw. None. But are they going to blame Josh Allen? No, they're not. They need to.
He kind of got like this shield of protection over him. Like even when he came out like in the draft, like they was just like, "Oh well, he's a raw talent. He has the opportunity to grow."
Stephon Diggs had to save his ass.
Got like, bro. I'm gonna keep it a bug with you too, man. Like I think the media is the reason why he was a top 10 draft pick. I really do believe that. Like he was completing like they were blaming all the wide receivers at Wyoming or why he wasn't completing passes at Wyoming. Like he always had that excuse behind in his back pocket. It's kind of crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy to me. So yeah, I think with McDermott is this, right? I think if like you look at what's going on in Buffalo and look at what's going on in the AFC, there is no Kansas City excuse. You know what I'm saying? This is wide open. Mm-hmm. And if they are a first round exit or a team that legitimately like misses the like if they don't go make a deep run, I'm gonna be real with you. If they don't make it to the Super Bowl, I think McDermott is gone.
Let alone AFC
I think he's gone. I think they're gonna look at no, I think even if he makes it to the AFC Championship and was to lose, I think he's done. I think he's done. I think he's out. Like I've been saying they should have fired him 2 years ago. But like I said, it reminds me of Dungy and Tampa. Like great defensive-minded coach, but cannot get over the hump with that organization. So they might have to bring somebody else in. So I think that they might need a new voice in there. They might need a new voice in that locker room. Dave Canellis for the Carolina Panthers, playoff pending, because we know how Dave Tepper is.
Yeah.
We know how Dave Tepper is. So I need a haircut. I need a haircut. I'm just looking at myself. I'm like, damn, I need a haircut. Fuck it, everybody gonna seen it anyway. Um, so yeah, I think Dave Canellis is playoff pending. Zach Taylor, I think out of everybody in this hot seat in the top 10, I think Taylor and Harbaugh are like the two least likely to get fired in my top 10.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that one.
Um, let's see. So Zach Taylor, I think, and this is why I say I know a lot of Cincinnati fans are like step back and saying like, he needs to go, he needs to be fired, or whatever it may be. But like, if Marvin Lewis can keep his job for 18 years, right? Can keep his job for 18 years, and he went 0-5 in the playoffs in those 18 years. Y'all think Zach Taylor ain't got no damn time? Zach
Yeah.
Taylor done went to the Super Bowl. He done went to 2 AFC championship games. Y'all don't think he got time? I mean, I got time. I'm gonna tell you this too. Zach Taylor is one of those coaches that would get picked up instantly by one of these losing teams. He would get picked up. He would have a job within 2 weeks. And I'm not talking about an office coordinator job neither. So, I think Zach Taylor is safe. I think Harbaugh is safe because Baltimore, same way with Cincinnati. 3 out of 4 teams in AFC North love stability. The other one, they just trying to figure it out, but whatever. Pete Carroll. I know the Raiders don't want to pay another head coach not to be there, but I think Carroll needs to go. I thought it was a huge mistake that they let go of Telesco as general manager. Does Pete Carroll get fired by the Oakland Raiders? I mean, not the Oakland Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders.
I could see it happening, but I can also see them giving him one more shot.
At what? He's 76, 77 years old? The game is past him. Like, Pete Carroll, you're a legend. You're going to be a Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. But it's time to retire. It's time to retire. We want to see you at your Hall of Fame speech, bro. I think it's time for you. I know that passion, that love for football is there, but you're not Dick Vermeil. Okay. You're not John Gruden. Hell, you're not even John Gruden coming out of retirement. You are washed. It's done. Father Time has caught up to you. But the thing that makes me think that Carroll's not getting fired is I haven't really heard any head coaching rumors out of Las Vegas.
Yeah, so that's why I said they might just give him another year. They're looking at what was his first year.
Yeah. Number 4, Raheem Morris. Did Raheem Morris potentially save his job by playing spoiler to multiple NFC teams?
I can honestly see him going.
Yeah, me too. I know a lot of people are calling for his job as well.
Yeah, I don't think he has what it takes as a head coach, at least.
Stefanski.
No.
Unbiased standpoint, I think he's gone. There are head coaching rumors coming out of Cleveland. Both of them I don't like whatsoever. I'm a Belichick guy, but I don't want to see Belichick. If Belichick was to come in as a consultant, then yes, I would like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't let him scour shit, But like have him be a consultant on how to run the organization and bring in guys that has a winning mentality, that knows what they're talking about, knows what they're doing. Absolutely. But the rumor of them wanting to bring in Belichick as the head coach, or if the Miami Dolphins were to move from Mike McDaniel, who's number 2 on the list, which I think they are moving on from him, and I think they're moving on from Tua as well. That the Browns want to hire Mike McDaniel. They want to, but did you hear that? Did you see that? Did you hear about this? Did you see about this? That they want to hire Mike McDaniel. Potentially, he's a top candidate, which I think is putting us back in square one. And 2, Mike McDaniel helped Kyle Shanahan create that 28 PowerPoint slide to leave Cleveland. You know about that, right?
Yeah, I saw that one. That was funny.
So come on now, like that's a Cleveland folklore legend. You know what I'm saying? But so no, I don't think Mike Daniel comes here, and I damn sure don't want him here neither. We would just get Kevin Stefanski 2.0. Like Kevin Stefanski outcoached him, so why would I want him here? Though? Didn't I tell you that shit don't matter? Haven't I told you that? It don't matter. It's like I said, it's like you having a restaurant and you hire this Michelin star chef and he wins you multiple Michelin stars, and then 2 years later, and within 2 years, he becomes the worst reviewed chef on Yelp. Do you keep that chef or do you fire him? You fire that chef because the business is going downhill. So Stefanski, I think Stefanski's going. I think Mike McDaniel's going. Jonathan Gannon for the Arizona Cardinals is definitely gone. I think he is out of there. I think they're gonna trade Murray. They're going to blow everything up in Arizona. The desert heat is about to get really hot out there in Arizona.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Jonathan Gannon, I think he's an excellent offensive coordinator, but I don't think he's a head coach. So I think Jonathan Gannon is gone as well. Any last thought? We kind of went through that faster than I thought. Any last thoughts on any of these coaches on the board? Who stays, who goes, or what might shock you?
What might shock me is if Mike McDaniel actually gets hired over. That'll be shocking, but that's the kingpin right there.
I saw this
But
post. Somebody said if McDaniel was to come up here to Cleveland, he'll go from Kingpin Mike to pierogi Mike. he just be he won't get no crack. He'll just get some pierogies. But yeah, I think what would shock me the most would be if Jonathan Gannon didn't get fired. I think he's a lock to get fired. It wouldn't shock, like I said, out of the top 10 that's on the borderline, LaFleur, Tomlin, and Steichen wouldn't shock me whatsoever. That's why I kind of got them highs more so. It wouldn't shock me they get fired more so than I think they're getting fired. Um, Canellis wouldn't shock me because of how impatient Tepper is. Both they might hold this collapse against them because they built a talented team and they have this collapse. Regardless of injuries, they might decide to move in a different direction. Especially if McDermott gets fired, don't be surprised if they try to go after McDermott if that was to happen. Uh, Top three, I think, are definitely gone. I would be stunned if any of these three, really any of these four, Raheem, Stefanski, McDaniel, and Gannon, keeps their job. I would be absolutely stunned if they keep their jobs. If any of them were to keep their job, just one of them were to keep their jobs. I think Stefanski is out of the top four because I think Carroll keeps his job. I think he should be going. He probably is going, but I think he'll keep his job. Out of the top four, I think Stefanski is the most likely to keep his job. I think he's the most likely to keep his job. So, any final thoughts on the college football playoffs? Any final thoughts on or on week 18? Any final thoughts on the NFL coaching, head coaches jobs?
go Patriots. Go get that number 1 seed. Buckeye Nation forever. We beat Notre Dame last year. And yeah, make sure you go tune into my blog.
Yes, please. And tell them where they can find that blog one more time.
Google or Safari or a laptop. And then Google or Safari, like I said, but depending on your phone. And andrelakes.blogspot.com.
All right. And my final thoughts is just let's look out for this when I go back to work on Monday. So when I come home and handle my business here, we will be going live Monday evening, probably around like 6:30, 7 o'clock, to talk about any head coaching or general manager firings and previewing what's coming up for the playoffs as well. Actually, the preview for the playoffs is going to be probably like the typical Wednesday, Thursday recording. But yeah, make sure you guys tune in live and make sure you guys hit that like button. Please comment, please share, please subscribe, please do the whole 9 yards. Where's my little insert? There it is. Yes, hit that whenever it decides, but there it is. Hit that like button, please share, please comment, subscribe, hit that nice notification bell so you guys don't miss any lives whatsoever. And also Sunday, 7 p.m. final, because the Browns never make the playoffs. Final Browns post game review, and in substitution of that, we're gonna do live like around the same time instead of doing Browns post game interviews. We're gonna do live playoff reviews for those Sundays and everything like that. So until next time, Dre, thank you so much for joining the show. Thank you for coming back onto the show. You are always a friend of the channel. You are always welcome in the nosebleed section. You are always welcome here. And we thank you so much for joining the show, man. So, we just thank you so much. I can't express enough how thankful we are, how thankful I am that you show up. I call, you show up, and I appreciate you so, so much. I appreciate everybody coming in, even if it was just for 5 seconds, for 5 minutes, or stayed for the entire show. We thank you for the support of 2025. Let's have a bigger 2026. We're on the road to 150 subscribers. So please, please, please subscribe. This show is going to be on demand. I want to know what you think in the comment section on demand. as well. Bigger things are coming for this channel. Bigger things are coming for this show in general. State of the channel address will be dropping at some point next week as well. Until next time, the Nosebleed section is closed. For Andre, this is Tyrell from the Nosebleed Show, signing off.